2024 charter to order. We have no members of the public at this time, and we will begin with chair remarks. So good evening, everybody. My name is Jim McBurney. I'm the chair. Welcome everybody to this first meeting. I think it's important to establish from the outset the mission of this commission, what we can do, what we can't do. This is a commission of limited jurisdiction and limited scope. It's important to keep in mind that nobody elected any of us to this commission. We've each been appointed by the elected county board, which means we have no authority beyond the scope of authority that the board grants us. That makes sense because if the good people of Arlington are unhappy about anything that this commission does, they have no recourse to remove any of us as commissioners. The only recourse the people of Arlington have is to vote against the elected county board members who appointed us. Where it follows that our authority is limited to what the individual elected members accountable to the people of Arlington bestow upon us to do. For the same reasons, each of us serve at the pleasure of the county board. What authority we've been granted is set forth in Chapter 31 of the Arlington County Code of the Human Rights Commission Charter, as revised on August 27th, 2024. And although this is called the Human Rights Commission, I think it probably could more accurately be referred to as the Anti-Discrimination Commission, because that's really the human rights element that we are tasked with addressing under the code. And broadly speaking, this commission has two tasks. The first is to enforce Chapter 31's protections against discriminatory practices among private entities within the geographical boundaries of Arlington County. And number two, to advise the county board on matters relating to equal opportunity and human rights within the county. This commission does not have jurisdiction over any alleged human rights violations that occur outside of Arlington County. As we are all aware, there are a lot of human rights violations happening in the world, but for better or worse, this is not the United Nations Human Rights Commission. This is the Arlington County Human Rights Commission. We are limited to events occurring within the geographical barriers of Arlington County. We also have no authority over alleged human rights violations committed by any government entity. We are limited to enforcing human rights violations, to addressing human rights violations committed by private entities within Arlington. Chapter 31 further provides a detail on how this commission may enforce Chapter 31's protections and which steps require additional express authorizations from the county board before we may proceed with them. And I would encourage everybody who has business before this commission to read that chapter carefully, and especially Section 31, Section 7, regarding filing of a complaint, which generally is a prerequisite to our ability to take any investigatory or remedial action. A little about myself. I have extensive background as both a government attorney and a civil rights lawyer. And so I both have a strong passion for protecting human rights and also significant experience with doing so within the confines of statutory jurisdiction. So I do intend for this to be an active commission. We will zealously pursue discriminatory activity by private entities within Arlington County. But this commission will also stay strictly within the bounds of the jurisdiction provided to us. And finally, I will say that perhaps some might think that this spiel was overly thorough, but I do think that this is an issue that may come up throughout the time of the commission, and hopefully to save everyone time, I can simply refer back to the recording of everything that I just said to move us along when these things come up later on. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for listening. That concludes my remarks, and we will move on to item 3 of the agenda, which is the appointment of the minute taker. Do I have any volunteers? Was that a volunteer? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. Well, with no volunteers for a minute taker, we have a light meeting today. We probably don't need one. But we will appoint a minute taker at the next meeting. So think about who would be interested in taking minutes. The next item is item 4, electronic policy adoption. This policy was distributed earlier this week. And I would now like to entertain a motion to adopt the electronic policy that was distributed earlier. Yes.
Move. I second.
All in favor of adopting that policy? All opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you all very much. We have adopted the policy. We're next going to move to item 5, meeting schedule and virtual meeting date selection. And correct me if I'm wrong, we have essentially doing this once a month, and is it on the first Thursday? Second Thursday.
In the past, the commission has not met in August. Typically they don't. Yeah.
You don't meet in August. Okay.
And
Yeah.
December.
Does not mean.
Does not mean August or December.
Not anymore.
Not
At least, yeah. So August and December are typically two.
They're off the schedule.
So that leaves you, according to that schedule, you have July, September, October, and November of this calendar, and December, November of this calendar year, 4 months of which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can do, decide this one's in person. You can do up to 50% virtual,
Right.
and they can't be consecutive virtual though. So your next one could be virtual, and that would be, if you're all okay with it. Or you can decide, no, we don't want to do virtual, we just want to be in person.
Okay, so I would propose doing the July meeting in person so that we can then do September and November virtual and be here October in person. So my proposal would be July and October in person for the remainder of this year, September and November virtual, and of course, August and December do not occur.
So that would be July. The next meeting would be July 10th, just so everyone knows that's what you're voting on for that to be in person. And then for September 11th to be virtual. October 9th to be in person. And November 13th to be virtual.
I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt that schedule for the remainder of the year.
Second. Oh, I'm so moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We have schedule. The next item is extensions. Do we have any?
We have.
No extensions. I see we still have no other participants in the meeting. Does anyone have anything else they would like to raise today? Hearing nothing, then I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Almost 3 hours late for my 6:30.
Right.
I did look like a